Hello, and welcome to Google I/O 2017. I'm Patrick Brady from the Android team at Google, and I'm here with AJ and Chen to give you guys an update on Android and cars. We have a lot to cover today, and I see there's still people streaming in, but let's buckle up and get driving. The automotive industry is really heating up. I think that's no secret. We see cars rapidly transforming from disconnected mechanical machines to powerful connected computers on wheels. The controls are shifting from mechanical knobs and dials to software-defined interfaces accessible through touchscreens and voice controls. Cars are getting more sensors and screens, microphones, connectivity, and compute power. We also see a convergence between the mobile and automotive worlds, creating exciting opportunities to revolutionize the way we interact with our cars today through open platforms, artificial intelligence, and vibrant developer ecosystems. Android Auto is an effort from Google and our partners to bring all of these advances together and create a safe and seamless experience for drivers everywhere. It's still early days, but today, anyone with an Android Auto-compatible car can see the beginnings of this vision at work with access to their favorite Android apps right from the car's display. We continue to expand the number of Android Auto-compatible models available through great partnerships with over 50 car brands. There are over 300 Android Auto cars compatible today, including first launches from Chrysler, Renault, Volvo, in the last few months alone. And that's triple the number from just 1 year ago. It's well on its way to becoming a standard feature in every new car. But of course, we know that not everyone has a new car. And so we've also made the Android Auto app available as a standalone experience on Android phones. This opens up the platform and ecosystem to many millions of drivers, no matter what kind of car they drive. Whether you're looking to stay connected with WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or Allo, or pass the time with NPR One, an audiobook from Audible, or the latest album release on Spotify, the apps drivers want on the road are available through Android Auto. And before anyone asks, Waze is now hitting beta, so we're very excited to welcome them into Android Auto as well. We're seeing strong growth on the developer front as well. In fact, we've seen a 50% increase in auto-enabled apps in the Play Store since last year. But none of this would matter if we didn't have users, right? Well, I'm happy to say that Android Auto usage is growing like crazy as well. Here's where we were at Google I/O 2016. And here's where we are today at I/O 2017. We've seen a 10x growth in usage over the last year alone, and the strong trajectory continues. But this is really just the beginning, and we're really more excited about where Android is going on the road ahead. Last year at I/O, we announced that we're building automotive features right into the Android platform to make it a turnkey solution for cars, every bit as much an automotive platform as it is a mobile platform today. We're doing this because we believe open platforms are powerful enablers of ecosystems. They reduce the cost of development, and they speed time to market. In a sense, they accelerate innovation. We're also doing this because it enables us to deliver an even more seamless driving experience, with all the information, controls, and connectivity available through a single system that's infused with the driver's identity, their digital life, and context. We listened and learned from partners who had already brought Android into automotive, and we worked hard to solve the challenges they hit along the way. A robust and full-featured Bluetooth stack, a standard way to connect with the cabin controls for windows and air conditioning and car sensors, a system that boots instantly. At Google I/O 2016, we showed this all off with Android Nougat powering the entire in-car experience of a concept Maserati. The windows, the doors, the air conditioning, the instrument cluster. And as much as we really loved that Maserati, and I'd really like to take it home. It was a concept. And I think what we think you all want, is to see real cars running modern Android-powered systems. The traction we're seeing in the industry is pretty amazing. Just a few short months after the official Android Nougat release, several of our partners were demoing Android-powered infotainment systems at CES 2017, including Fiat Chrysler's Android-powered Uconnect system. Earlier this week, the automotive industry heavyweight with a reputation for building some of the most advanced systems on the market, Audi, announced that they will build their next-generation infotainment systems on Android. Please join me in welcoming Alphonse Faller, head of Connected Car and Infotainment at Audi AG.
Patrick and our friends from Google, thank you very, very much for being here, that we have got the invitation to be at the Google I/O. For Audi, it's the third time that we are here at the I/O. And for Audi, the Google I/O is really, really a special event, a great event. We have a very, very long-term relationship with Google. And together, Patrick and your team, we have been able to launch a lot of really cool services over the last years. We started with Google Earth, amazing. Search, BOI, Street View, a lot of things. And now, the really big next step is coming. If you are looking on the picture, on this picture we see the brand new Audi interior design. This design is based on the best-in-class digital cockpit technology. And we see here three absolute automotive high-end displays in the front and additional displays in the front. Based on this digital cockpit, we are able to bring in a really, really amazing design and a really straightforward, excellent user experience. And in this interior design, we are doing a seamless integration of embedded Android. And I think that is really, really a big step. If I'm to a short summary in terms of time, what's ongoing automotive? We are bringing together with our silicium partners really, really high-end computing inside the car. Next step is with our friends from mobile communication. We are connecting all cars with high-speed LTE and very soon also with 5G to the whole cloud ecosystem. And now the point is, with the embedded Android, we are able to provide an open platform for automotive. And this enables us to invite you, to invite all of you to participate in automotive development. And that's great. So thanks very much, and looking forward to see this concept on our show car outside. and have the one or other further discussion. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Alphonse. We couldn't be more excited to partner with Audi again to bring Android into their future cars. But you can't build an ecosystem with just one partnership, right? And that's why I'm happy to say that one of the industry's most innovative companies, Volvo, is also putting their weight behind the Android in-car ecosystem. I'm happy to welcome up Henrik Green, Senior Vice President of Research and Development at Volvo Car Group, to tell you a bit about their new system.
Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon, and thank you, the friends at Google, for inviting us here to this great event. Thank you for the sun, and most of all, thank you for the sunscreen. I haven't dared look at the mirror yet, so I'm not sure, but I'm definitely burned on the right side. I mean, we have worked with Google for a number of years on a different size of projects, and of course, the recent Android Auto is a fantastic success of that. But today, we're here to announce that our partnership is going to the next level. We are, together with Google team here, going to develop the next generation of connected car infotainment. And as always for Volvo, it's very important for us to create a completely seamless solution where the user experience is at the heart of everybody, and that we can provide a better life and a better experience through the integrated use of this infotainment system. Now, the design of a UX system plays, of course, an enormous important role. But at the heart of it is the operating system. And here, we strongly believe that together with Google, we will develop the next generation based on the Android platform. So, again, it's to you out there. You are the developers. You are now the people and the brain power that will bring this experience to life in the future cars. So be with us here and show that we can make the best connected infotainment system and car experience out there. Thank you so much.
Pretty cool, right? I definitely encourage you to go check out the demos that Audi and Volvo are showing in the Android and IoT booths out there. As good as the cars look up on the screens, they look even better in person. Sadly, I have to say, we're not giving out any free cars this year at I/O, so you have to make do with a T-shirt. But Audi and Volvo are really true pioneers in automotive electronics and infotainment. And we couldn't have picked better partners to usher in the future of connected cars. We're really, really excited about that. With the Android Auto app on phones, with 300 Android Auto compatible car models, and with Android built-in systems hitting the road soon, we're pushing forward to revolutionize the way we stay connected in our cars, creating a safe and seamless connected experience for drivers everywhere. But a big part of the driver's digital life, as Henrik and Alphonse said, is the applications and services they use throughout their digital life on their other devices. And we need to bring the ecosystem along for the ride. So I'd like to welcome up on stage AJ Kimbembe from the Android Auto UX team to talk about what this all means for developers.
Thanks. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. And hi, everyone. My name is AJ, and I am the lead designer for Android in-car infotainment. Patrick already detailed how we've been hard at work to make Android the best possible infotainment platform with improvement to Bluetooth, boot time, car control, such as HVAC, radio, car sensors, clusters, and so on. But Android is not only a great platform, it's also an entire ecosystem of apps and services. But first, I would like to talk about why are we doing this. So this is an actual photo from our field research. This driver is trying to catch Pokemons on Pokemon Go while at the wheel. And you can see the family crossing in the background. So don't worry, everybody is safe. And again, this is not a stock image. This is our researchers in the car with real drivers out on the road. And now, if this is happening with our researchers in the vehicle, the gist of it is our internal research shows that people, drivers, want to stay connected. And they may resort to use their phone to do so, and that can lead to situations that are fundamentally unsafe. We want to help drivers stay connected with user interfaces that are safe and predictable. So I'd like to talk about three things here. First, why it's complex to design services for the car? What Android is doing to help as a platform then? And finally, what are the various ways that you can integrate with Android Auto as a developer? OK. What is making designing apps and services for the car specific, exciting, but also sometimes challenging? Android is a platform for infotainment across a wide range of possible surfaces with shapes, aspect ratio that could be different, densities, fidelities. A car interior is a meticulously crafted experience. Everything is optimized for safety, of course, but also to provide a specific experience for each brand and each price point. Displays can be big, small, wide, tall, entertaining cluster or heads-up displays. Android is a platform that supports all of these. But along with the outputs, the inputs methods are multiple as well. Touchscreens are more and more common in the cars, but also D-pad, touchpad, rotary input. Many more cars have that as well. And some systems are even hybrids of multiple input mechanisms. And Android is a platform that supports that as well. Safety. Safety, of course, is our priority. We are working really, really hard to reduce driver distraction, visual distraction, manual distraction, cognitive distraction. Our internal user research team works closely and iteratively with the broader team to strengthen understanding of in-vehicle driver interaction, and also to guide our future development. Our team conducts the foundational research, the studies, the needs assessment, usability evaluation, quantitative surveys, and formal driver distraction testing as well. They also engage in a positive working relationship with external organization, and they stay up to date with the regulation standards. We do all that so our partners and developers don't have to do it. So you can see that our driving simulator is an expensive setup that kind of realistically simulates driving conditions. We use it for many things, including the detection response task. That is one way that we use to evaluate cognitive load. We also use it for eye tracking. You can see on the picture Katie with the apparatus on her face. And we also use the occlusion glasses. They are a little tool that we use to simulate a driver focusing on the road and glancing at the UI. They close and they open. What I would like to say is it's a complex and expensive endeavor. And again, we are doing all that so our partners and drivers don't have to worry too much about it. OK. So now on to what Android is doing to help developers. So like we said earlier, we know that drivers want to stay connected, and we want to help them with interfaces that are safe and predictable. But the content, the context, and the inherent fluid nature of modern digital services can make that a challenge. The content of in-car infotainment used to be more predictable. Now, with Android, we are designing a system that is ready to safely bring into cars services that we know and how to use on other platforms, and that we like as well. Android is already a great platform for modern digital services on phones, on tablets, on TVs, on wearables, and now we are bringing that in cars as well. The key to adapt quickly and efficiently to the wide diversity of human-machine interfaces that we find in the industry is modularity. Android is abstracting away the inputs and outputs, so developers don't have to worry about screen size or shapes, or whether something is touch or rotary. We take care of that. Android also provides an in-car platform, so developers can continue to innovate and focus on building innovative apps without having to worry about all these details. One way Android does the heavy lifting for developers is through templates. We've designed a system that enables automotive-grade templates to safely and predictably perform the most common driving-related tasks. Those templates are designed to accommodate a wide variety of regulatory concerns. So for example, Spotify don't have to worry about what is the tap target size for some screens, or how many items can be displayed on one screen in a given country or region. We take care of that. And another way we make Android in the car very predictable experience is with apps. Although powerful, the app grid is not the most suitable metaphor for the automotive space. We've identified the key areas for the car and made it easy to switch between them. And it's not only in our own Android Auto platform. You can see this today, for example, in the best-in-class systems designed by our partners, Audi and Volvo. And be sure to check their demos after in the IoT and Arduino right outside. Here, the most commonly used functions are elevated, so drivers can quickly and safely switch between them without having to make their way through an upgrade. We also want the experience to feel personal and tailored. We work hard to make sure that Android understands when the driver is in the car and can optimize itself to safely bring the driver's apps and services. Android is already built in with multi-user support. It's been a few years now. And we are fully leveraging this framework in the vehicle to enable frictionless personalization. We want to get to the point where a driver can step into a rental car and have an experience that is personalized and ready to drive. Now on to the last portion. What are the different ways that you can bring your app or service into cars? Android is a common platform that millions of developers already know how to build for. If you are already invested in the Android ecosystem, we want to make things easy for you. Android, as a platform, does the heavy lifting and provides a set of tools and APIs to integrate very easily with the car. Our goal is to have one single platform across every car. Let's look at that in more details. We want to be respectful of the time and resources developers have to commit to bring their app and services to the car. That's why there are multiple ways you can integrate with Android Auto, depending on the nature of your service, of course. For a few of those apps, it will require a lot of more effort, a lot more design time, and possibly more cost as well. But for most of the app, it will be less effort and less time that could be involved. What we call full app, or services that need full control of what is displayed on the screen. I would like to take the example here in the great interior of the Volvo XC90 that is on demo. Google Maps is using dynamic, scrollable, and pinchable map tiles. Bringing a full app experience necessitates a huge amount of human and technical resources. You have to think about target size, type size, day and night mode, focus-based system, such as rotary input or touchpads. All of this then required full testing capabilities to ensure that the resulting app is up to formal standards regarding driver distraction. Waze is another example of an application that requires full pixel control. And you can see here, presented in our Android Auto for your car screen version. Not all the apps are making application, though. For audio apps, we've created a set of templates that safely offer all the necessary functionalities in a simple, predictable, and safe manner. Here, I would like the example of the Audi Q8 Sport concept that is on demo as well. You can see how Audi elegantly implemented the media session API that developers can use to bring their media app into cars. The templates are working on all our surfaces, screen densities, and inputs, and they are rigorously tested for driver distraction. And the great thing is, all of the applications that are already working with Android Auto for your phone screen or for your car screen will be working here as well, without extra work from our developers. And you can also see how Audi really elegantly implemented Media Browse API. And here presented with Pocket Cast, so you can find your content easily and safely in an experience that feels immersive and right in place in the car. Messaging is one of the major use cases in the car for SMS, but also apps such as WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or Allo. The integration with Auto is simple and based on Android notifications. All that is necessary is to integrate with our car extender object to enable a safe, voice-centric messaging experience for your users. This is another example of the media browse media session implemented with RPA1. But here you can see our WhatsApp notification are showing up. We've made them working great for safe and predictable use on a phone that is mounted on your dashboard of your car. And the great thing is that without SRF for WhatsApp, we can make it work on different form factors. Here, Android Auto for your car screen. And that is working for touch, but also focus-based systems, such as rotary inputs. Another way to integrate with Auto is through the Google Assistant. Assistant-based apps and services are inherently cross-platform, and their voice-centric nature makes them ideally suited for in-car use. The next speaker is going to talk more about that, and so I will not expand into too much detail here. So that's what we are working hard on to enable a healthy ecosystem with Android. We work hard to abstract away the complexity and provide developers and car manufacturers with a robust, up-to-date, and secure platform. Now I would like to welcome Chen on stage to talk more about how you can integrate with the Google Assistant on Android Auto. Thank you. Chen, thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Hello, I'm Chen, technical lead and manager on the Google Assistant on Android Auto team. And I'm here to tell you about how you, the developers, can engage with users in the car. See if this scenario sounds familiar. You're running late for work and you rush out the door. On your drive, you think back to yourself, did I actually lock the front door? Wouldn't it be awesome if you could talk to your car and say, OK, Google, did I lock the door? Or maybe on that same commute, you're thinking, what meetings am I actually rushing to? Or I better not forget to buy milk before I go home. It'd be great if you could talk to your car and say, what's my next meeting? Or remind me to buy milk before I go home. These are all things that the Google Assistant can help you with. And more importantly, you as the developer can make your services available via the Assistant. As AJ has mentioned before, voice input is critical in the car. For safety reasons, we want to make sure the users keep their eyes on the road and hands on the wheel. While the users are on this journey, we want to make sure the user stays connected, they can get things done, and stay entertained. The Google Assistant can provide that intelligent and conversational voice as we move from a mobile-first to an AI-first world. We want it to be the ultimate co-pilot for the user in the car. Users are spending precious time in the car, and we're making the assistant help the user complete the mission and make the journey fun. With the feature called My Day, you can say, OK, Google, tell me about my day. And the assistant will tell you about upcoming calendar events, reminders, commute traffic, so you can hit the ground running when you get to work. On the road, your assistant can tell you about traffic ahead or show you gas stations if you need to make a pit stop. If you're bored, you can ask the assistant to play that favorite song you've downloaded or listen to a variety of music and podcasts. We know that staying connected is very important for users on the road, so we make calling and messaging easy with voice actions like call mom, send a WhatsApp message, or read my messages. Many of these experiences are only possible because developers like you have implemented the right APIs. So thank you for helping us create that great user experience. Since the assistant is cross-surface, it'll help the users get things done wherever they are, in the home and on the go. Patrick and AJ have already talked about how messaging and media apps can integrate with Android Auto for a seamless and consistent user experience in the car. Those were the templated and notification apps in AJ's pyramid that want to show a UI. But there are tons of other apps that don't fall under these categories. How can you as a developer get your experience in the car without having to deal with the complexity of building a full automotive app and having to accommodate different screen sizes, various inputs and outputs? If your service can be voice-centric in the car, and you want a lightweight integration for reaching these users, then the Google Assistant is a good option. So how do you build for the Google Assistant? Actions on Google is the platform for developers to build for the Google Assistant. The platform allows developers to reach users wherever the assistant is available. The platform uses cloud execution, so users don't need to pre-install any app. When they ask for your service by name, you'll be connected immediately. Many developers are already building for the actions on Google. When building for actions on Google, there are 3 key pieces that need to be defined by the developer: invocation triggers, dialogue, and fulfillment. Let me illustrate with an example. I like coding, and I like fortune cookies. So I want to build a service that gives me a daily dose of coding fortune cookies. So the first step is I need to define my invocation trigger. How does the user connect to my service? What do they actually have to say? In this case, I'll make it simple. Whenever the user says, "Talk to coding fortune cookie," then the Google Assistant will connect the user to my service. The next step is dialogues. So once the user is connected to my service, how do I talk to them? What kind of information am I asking? And what kind of responses am I expecting? What are valid responses? What are invalid responses? In this case, I'm going to make it a simple question. Do they want a Java or a C++ fortune cookie? Okay. So there are only 2 valid responses in this case. So let's suppose that the user picked Java. Now we can move on to the third step, which is fulfillment. For fulfillment, I have all the information that I need. So how do I go about committing that transaction or executing that action on behalf of the user? So in this case, I'm going to look in my bank of Java fortunes, and I'm going to pick one out for today. Random one. Today's fortune says, Confucius says, for true happiness, prefer interfaces over abstract classes. That's one I actually use every day. That's a high-level view of actions on Google. The Google Assistant and actions on Google are coming to Android Auto and will open up a wide possibility of use cases. Agents and services that are built on top of the platform will transfer over. If you think that users will interact with your agent or service in the car, it's a good idea to start thinking about what is the user experience that you want to build for that special context. One car-specific consideration is safety and driver distraction. How can you build a user experience that both minimizes driver distraction and allow users to get things done and stay entertained? Let's think about some potential use cases for engaging with users in the car. What is possible here? One idea is reservations. It's a Friday night, and I'm meeting up with my husband for dinner. We pick out a restaurant, and on the way there, I would love to be able to say, book a table, and have that table waiting for me by the time I get there. What would be even more awesome and magical is if the Google Assistant and that third-party service can suggest a good reservation time that takes into account my location, traffic, and maybe parking availability. So I make a reservation for a time that I can definitely make. Another idea is food ordering. I'm working late on a weeknight, and I'm too lazy to cook. On my way home, I would love to be able to put in an order at my favorite restaurant and have that food delivered and arrived at my home by the time I get there. Saves on time, saves on cooking. Like I mentioned earlier, how many times have you driven away from your house and can't remember whether you've actually locked the front door? It'd be very cool if you could say, OK, Google, check my door, or did I lock my door? Or just lock it. Another one is lights. I'm driving home, and I actually hate walking into a dark house because I'm actually afraid of the dark. It would be great if from the car I could just say, turn on my living room lights, or turn on my dining room lights, and I never have to walk into a dark house again. Games and entertainment. How many times have you been on long road trips with kids where you struggle to find a way to keep them entertained? Wouldn't it be awesome if you could say, OK, Google, entertain my kids, and have games that are age appropriate for different kids so they can play whatever they want? They stay entertained, and I can focus on the road. These are just some ideas on ways developers can engage with users in the car. I look forward to what creative ideas you come up with. Please check out the actions on Google's site, where there are actually code samples and tools that help you build the dialogue and triggers and fulfillment steps, so that it makes it easier to bring up your service. We also have demos at the IoT and Android domes where we'll actually be showcasing some of the use cases that I just talked about, including controlling hue lights and August door locks directly from inside the car. Thank you, and back to Patrick.
Thanks. Thanks, Chen. It's really exciting to see a new way for developers to easily extend their services into cars. With conversational voice powered by the Google Assistant, we hope to see many new types of apps and use cases by next I/O. You also heard from AJ earlier on how media and messaging apps can extend into the car through a scalable way with Android Auto templates and notification extensions. Android Auto and the Google Assistant abstract most of the complexity of automotive development so that you can just worry about building a great app and experience for your cars or for your drivers. This model has helped Android Auto grow to be the largest in-car ecosystem today, and it's about to get a whole lot bigger with the Google Assistant. With 10x growth in users over the last year and new partners like Audi and Volvo building Android directly into their cars, we know that developers are going to have plenty of eager drivers out there who want to stay connected on the road. So we're excited to continue this road ahead with all of you to build the future of automotive infotainment and create a safe and seamless experience for drivers everywhere. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show.